It's the gayest podcast ever.
Hello, and welcome to the Gayest podcast ever. This is Josh, and I'm here with
Eric and CJ.
Hello, boys. How are we today?
Well, you know, it's a Wednesday. Thinking spring.
Yeah, it's hump day. Normally, we don't record on hump day, so it kind of mixing things up.
We also had that little teaser of like 42-degree weather yesterday, which made me think, oh, it's 70 out.
Yeah, this is the time of year where you actually have to check the weather before you walk outside, because it could be anything.
I mean, it's been a decent winter in the fact that it like snows like crazy, and then it gets up to 50, and then it snows like crazy, and then it gets up to 50. So, I mean, it's kind of, we're taking it in waves. If it was like fucking snowing the entire time.
Well, March and April are like the October and November of like the spring. Like in the fall, like October and November, you never know what you're going to get. It could be like 80 degrees one day, and then the next day it's like 42.
Yeah. Spencer and I, we both had Monday off for President's Day, and like we walked around like downtown Birmingham and like just took in the sun. It was lovely.
Yeah. The sun did feel good.
I didn't do any walking on President's Day. I was hungover for my long weekend.
I mean, I was hungover too, but I promised Spencer I'd go walking, so I kind of worked off the booze.
Barely got out of bed.
Speaking of bear, how was North American Bear?
It was very fun. I don't know, like every year it just gets better and better. Maybe because it's been a couple of years, everyone was just like living their best life. But yeah.
Because it was canceled because of COVID?
Yeah. Is this the first one in like 2 years?
Yeah. Last time was the one when I competed, 2020.
Gosh, it seems like that was just like a year ago.
Yeah.
Like,
oh my God, yeah, I was
those
watching
COVID memories.
I was watching The Newsroom with Jennifer Aniston and Reese Witherspoon, and it's so funny because like in the very first shot, like of season 2 of episode 1, they're like going down the streets of New York with like a camera, and you can tell it's on a wire, but like nobody's on the street, and it's like right when COVID hit, and then it's like 3 months before, and that's how the season starts. But it's hilarious to watch like all the emphasis on 2020 and everyone's so excited and this new year, and I just like was sitting there going, oh yeah, we were like going to Florida and we were so excited about New Year's and we had no idea what's coming.
No idea what was coming next.
Yeah, these past 2 years just kind of all fit into one, and next year we're going to be like, what? COVID?
It is amazing how long it felt, yet how quick it went by. I'm not even quite sure. It's a weird time conundrum that we lived in for those. And hopefully we're
I'm ready to come out of the bubble.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, I'm glad you had fun though.
Always a good time.
And welcome back to the club. He said I'd seen him on Monday, and he came over the house, and he goes, I was trying to sleep in the car, and I just kept filling all the potholes.
Yeah.
I woke up.
I could tell real quick when we got back into Michigan. I was hungover, so every little bump was bothering me, and suddenly I'm like, what is with these roads? And Steve's like, we're back in Michigan. I was like, oh God.
So it's not like that in other states?
No. Oh, have you seen Ohio roads?
Ohio's nice. Like Florida's nice, but I mean, like obviously
I don't get the weather though.
The weather, but like Ohio, yeah, but it's because of the turnpike, and you have to pay to drive on the road.
Ohio is always under construction too. Like it's just a cycle.
It is
bizarre. I know it was like, oh, come back, snow. You were pecking the potholes I could drive over.
Well, it was funny because we left that morning when the snow started, and then we came back and it was all gone. We're like, what was everyone talking about?
And I'm sure I'll be back next week.
It was like 4 days. That was it.
And just like that, the snow comes back.
Nice. Oh, speaking of things that hopefully will come back.
I was like, yeah, that was my tee up.
Did you see Cynthia Nixon's comment? She's like, if you're looking for Miranda to be a certain way, then you should watch Sex and the City. Because as most people do in their lives, people, when they age, evolve and they grow and they change. And I was like, no, I want you to be more like Miranda. Like,
right.
Like, thank God you dyed your hair back to red. Like,
So, for those of you who are listening, the season, maybe series finale of Sex and the City spinoff, and Just Like That aired, and people have thoughts, and it's not been determined if it's coming back or not. I think what's all HBO will say is that if Darren Star and Sarah Jessica Parker have ideas that are great and everyone's on board with them, will come back. And that's kind of how HBO left it with them.
And I think that's fine. I mean, I'm sure they can. I enjoyed the season a lot. I think they could have a lot more stories to go into, and maybe not get so nichey, especially around Miranda and her whatever that was.
See, I'm curious. Like, what other I thought about it, and I don't know what other stories they can go into. It can't be Sarah Jessica like hopping around the city like as she walks with her little hops, like looking for men in like her 60s and 70s.
First of all, that was the entire series of Sex and the City.
I know, but like I we've seen it. It's been like 7 seasons of it. Now Big died, and we're gonna have to watch this like all over again.
Watch her in her 50s now.
I mean, I'd watch her do that podcast producer.
Right now, that was a good way.
That was a good way to end it.
I was team that because I was like, I didn't get the whole like frumpy algebra teacher that like they kept trying to push on her, because it's like, this is not like, because even like while I didn't think Big was super attractive compared to a lot of the men she dated, he was just that confidence and that
dapper,
money, and that dapperness and he was like cocky, and he was just like, he exuded like this manliness, and he was like, I'm gonna get what I want, and I'm like, ooh, give me a little shivers.
Maybe we're gonna see
his ghost.
Carrie as a cougar now, and like start dating younger men.
I thought you were going to say Aiden. I was like, I will not listen to this lie twice. Like,
no,
he had to offer an apology.
We were promised Sean Corbett.
Oh, he personally reached out to Sarah Jessica and apologized that he said that. He knew all along he wasn't doing it. He claimed it was like a tease, and I was like, well, that was not very. Oh yeah, it was a whole thing.
I did love. Let's talk about some of the things we first loved with the show. I loved the Natasha reunion and kind of settling that. I thought that was kind of fun and out there. I loved that they definitely made the cast kind of more diverse, and they brought in Charlotte's Upper East Side friend. What was her name?
Nicole Parker. I know
she's another 3-name person.
Yeah, Nicole Ari Parker or something like that.
And on the show, she was married to General George Washington from Hamilton, who tall drink of water right there. But I love them. I kind of liked that. What did you boys like?
I love the Charlotte's whole thing with like her family and Rock and like the whole transgender thing. Although we didn't really say, like, did she ever say trans at one point, or just other than they wanted to be Rock?
Well, I think
I gotta say, it was like 2 thumbs down. I did not love it.
Really?
I did not love the
much.
series. I did not love it. Like, if it comes back, it comes back. I hope they do better. I thought.
Didn't do it for you?
Yeah, it did not do it for me.
I also really enjoyed Carrie's fashions.
Yes.
I will say it. I still am a big fan of the way she dresses and the way she looks.
I do love the fact of like the one dress that she's never wore out of her apartment. That when she was with Alexander in Paris, and then she showed
Lily.
Was it Lily? No, I thought.
No, or was it the real estate agent?
It was the real estate agent.
Yeah.
And she's never worn out, and they're like, that dress costs like $80,000. Like, and Carrie couldn't even like afford to buy her apartment like back in the day.
Right. Yeah.
I did love the real estate agent too.
Yeah.
She was a fave of mine, and I mean, cougars, like, that's where they can go with the whole show. Like, she was with a younger man.
Yeah. We know Eric.
Yeah, we did that, Samantha.
And we know Eric's totally going to watch the spinoff about Shay Diaz.
Right.
Because that was his favorite
I'm
character.
naming my next dog Shay Diaz.
The whole show's called It's Shay Diaz.
He's going to be like, get over here, little bitch, Shay Diaz. No, that's funny. But yeah, so we'll see what kind of happens next on it. I'm kind of indifferent.
The next show is just going to be called ...
I enjoyed the characters coming back. I'm not super like tied to having to see it go on or not, but I enjoyed dipping back into that.
Right, like maybe a movie. I don't know if I need a whole series.
I don't know if I want another movie though. Like, that's high stakes. Like, TV show, you can get, like, you can kind of play it under the radar and do some stuff.
What we get though, 8 episodes of 30 minutes. That's essentially like what, a really long movie. It's like the Avengers. Like, I mean, it is a movie.
Maybe they go down under.
Yeah. No, there's that meme that says like where it's like the no yes face, and then it was like a 3-hour movie. You're like, and then it's like a 5-part miniseries of 45-minute episodes. You're like, yeah. So it's like it's the same freaking thing, just the way you cut.
No, you got different story arcs, little tiny story arcs versus one big one that could just bomb before it came back.
True.
Or maybe, we just switch it up. Throw a little Reese in there, a little Sarah Michelle Gellar. Like, let's maybe change the cast a little.
Okay, let's
just
do
do a reboot now.
A little refresh. Yeah, a little reboot.
Yeah.
That's what everyone does.
Well, the opposite of a women of a certain age is these young women of an underage over at Euphoria High.
Oh, my God.
So at the time of this recording, the finale of the second season has not aired, but we're all current otherwise.
Right, yes.
And so the last thing we saw was the play.
The play.
Our Life?
Our Life, yes.
Maud Apatow. Snaps from Maud Apatow.
Lexi is a fucking genius.
I was concerned at the beginning, though, when like she ran out and she's like, "This is our life," and everyone was like slow clapping, and then the R fell.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, you life. I'm pretty sure that's Oakland University's hashtag on their billboards.
I'm enjoying all the memes that they're like, wait, is this fucking play about us?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh my gosh. That cast of characters. I mean, and I feel like they're all really tight too, because I've started following them on Instagram.
Yeah.
And like they're always cheering. I just saw like Zendaya and Spider-Man and Hunter.
he was in the episode of the play. Like, there's all these things on like TikTok now. He was in the very back row.
Is he one of the...
And they're like, of the audience.
Are you telling me Tom Holland
was in an episode? Yeah, he was in this episode. He was in the back row of the play, and they even showed a TikTok of him saying like, "I visited the set quite frequently in season 2.
Oh my
like,
God.
I love the show. I love all the people. I
I've
want to
gotta
be
go
on the
rewatch.
show."
Yeah. I
Yeah.
wish he was one of like the football players just wearing like the legging. I don't even know what they call
The gold underwear.
So the first one, the budget for this high school.
With the round stage as she's walking.
Yeah, my other favorite is at one point they're smoking weed. I'm like, oh yeah, so like the again, there's all those memes about the guidance counselor at Euphoria High or the principal at Euphoria High. It's like, yeah, they greenlit the weed smoking at a high school play.
Or like them shooting water bottles all over each other. Like they're like basically ejaculating. And then like all the motions, I'm like, and what teacher supervised this play?
Yeah, and they said fuck like 4 times.
yeah, who's in charge of the theater department at Euphoria High?
I need to go back to
Same
high
one who
school.
enforces the dress code there.
I'm pretty sure if I did that, budget would have been ran out with just those letters at the beginning.
Somebody posted a meme, and I almost sent it to you today, but I was too busy and I forgot. It's of Cassie at the end when, like Nate, they have their whole disagreement in the hallway.
He breaks up with her.
He breaks up with her, yeah. And then she goes back and she's staring through the glass, which I fear for Lexi's life. Thank God that like Maddie's like in the front almost. But it's like somebody posted the meme and it's like the Jurassic Park, like the eye through the window.
Like the Velociraptor.
I died.
I mean, I'm a Cassie stan, but if she hurts my Lexi, I don't know what I'm gonna do. And I just love how like the mom's in the audience. That's supposed to be me.
Oh, the mom
That
was
was
one of
my
my favorite parts. Yeah, she was great.
Yeah, it can be heavy. Euphoria can be very heavy.
That kid, Kat's ex-boyfriend, Ethan is his name, I believe, on
Yeah.
the show. Like him and Lexi, because he played like 3 parts in it. He played like their dad, he played their mom, and then he was essentially playing Nate Jacobs. But I mean,
And his
that
name was
musical
Jake on the
Yeah.
play, Jake, and I was like, oh, it kind of sounds like Nate. And I go, wait, it really sounds like Jacob.
because you also had that little scene where Nate Jacobs and Eric Dane, and you're like,
Yes.
oh my God, what's happening here?
No, I'm
And-
not into incest at all.
But
But for their show, I was like, okay, I'd watch that.
So this is my thing. Like, do you think that like Eric Dane sexually abused Nate Jacobs? I shouldn't say it like that. I should say, do you
call him
think the-
Kale, not Eric
I know,
Dane.
I flipped it too. I did both.
So it was interesting, and I was trying to like put things together when the mom was like, something happened to you when you were like 7 or 8. But I'm like, I think that's the time he found the videos, though.
And so now he's just fantasizing
So I'm
about
like-
his father having sex with him?
Well, I don't know. We still don't know who the damn third kid
The
is.
third kid,
Yeah,
and they're like
yeah.
just like leaving that out.
Well, the third season has been greenlit. The third season has been approved, and Zendaya will be back
2
for it.
main characters are not coming back.
Oh,
They've
really?
stated.
Oh, well, I mean,
And if it's Fez, let me just tell you.
I feel like
Oh.
Fezco is probably not going to come back, but like
Don't even wanna
Nate,
talk to you right now.
you know, Nate had that gun, and I'm like, who could he go after? Like,
Yeah, I know. And like they were talking about like, could the show go on without Zendaya? And I do believe it could.
yeah,
But she's clearly so high in demand, and so
But she's kind of like the voice of the show. Like,
Yeah.
I'm wondering if it's from her point of view from the future, like narrating what like is going on. Like, I don't know. There was that whole scene at, Fezco's apartment when he's getting ready and he's like, do you think other people will think I'm handsome? And I'm like, oh my God, just get to the show. What is taking you so long?
Get out of there.
Yeah, I was like, this is dragging out way too much.
Yep.
Just get him out of the house.
Yeah.
But they said that it's a really big, the start to the second season was with Fezco and Ashtray, and it's going to be a big part of the ending of season 2.
So, can we talk about Ashtray in that last episode? Why does he look so much older?
Because Euphoria had to skip because of COVID. They were delayed in filming.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can't not tell the kids not to grow.
I mean, I guess a kid that age, there's noticeable differences between like months.
Same. If you watch Sweet Magnolias on Netflix, the same thing happened with those kids. They like shot up like a.
I was just like, wait, they didn't replace the actor. It's
No.
the same kid, but he's not like the same kid.
COVID delayed a lot of filming.
Okay,
and
that
turns
makes
out
sense.
The kids still grew while they were in quarantine.
Yeah, because he looked noticeably older and even different. Like he looked way more mature.
Yeah.
But we'll definitely report back on the finale of
yes, we
Euphoria.
will.
I'm so nervous.
Can't wait. Well, maybe I think we should watch it together or something.
I feel
don't
like we
even
should.
know.
Yeah, this weekend.
All right, yeah, this Sunday. All right, well, we're going to take a quick little break, and when we come back, we're going to dive into our next topic, so stay tuned. And we're back, and I think while we were on break, someone stole my identity. No, not true. That's not even funny, actually. But everything, everywhere, every network, every whatever is all about right now, like people like getting swindled in this age of technology, and it's so crazy. So I think first, let's start with Shonda. Shonda's new show on Netflix. You both have finished it?
I'm done.
I've not finished it, no.
Okay.
I'm done.
All right, so Shonda Rhimes, creator of Grey's Anatomy, Scandal, How to Get Away with Murder, Crossroads, starring Britney Spears, has a...
You just had to throw that in there.
It's true. 20 years ago or something like that. But so she's got a new show on Netflix called Inventing Anna, and it's 9 parts.
Yes,
Yes.
9 parts.
9.
Okay, I'm halfway through part 5. So I'm like 4.5 episodes in. So I'm right dead way through.
I think I'm either on 6 or 7. I'm toward the end.
It's basically the whole Shonda family plus Veda Salt and Fuss from My Girl.
Yeah.
Yes. And so the premise is that this woman, Anna Delvey,
yes.
Or Sorkin.
Sorkin,
Yeah.
Yes.
basically swindled the New York elite for years.
Like $300-something thousand, and
It's got to be more than that.
well, I'm just talking about all the hotels and
Oh,
stuff. Yeah, no, she was gonna get like a $40 million loan,
Yeah.
like from
Yeah.
a bank for
That
281 Park.
Yeah,
Like
and-
I said, the one episode I saw Eric, I go, I'm at the part where that man literally was like, I'm so sorry we can't give you our business. I'll make it up to you. Here's a checking account with $200,000 overdraft fee that you can take right now. I go, excuse me, what? Like, my bank, when I signed up, was
You
like, here's-
shouldn't talk about our producer's family like that.
when I signed up for a bank, they were like, here's a $50 incentive.
Right. And you got to keep your account in good standing for 5 months.
Yeah,
Here's
till
a
then-
$20 Grubhub card.
Yeah, till then, here's a keychain, like coffee mug.
Yeah.
Like,
Or
what the
Frisbee.
fudge?
No, yeah, it was insane. Like every hotel, and I've never heard of like, do you accept wire transfers? So many. I'm like, who still uses like wire transfers that much? I mean, granted, it was a couple years ago, but the fact that she got away with this for so long, but everyone's just embarrassed to press charges, so they didn't want to.
And I loved how they're in the show so far. They're like diving into like, well, why didn't you press charges? Obviously they have money, but that publicity just was not worth.
And I think they're afraid their reputations are going to be tarnished. And then they're like, no, I'm responsible for so much money to let it get out there that our company, that our brand, whatever, was swindled by this 25-year... Because how old is she?
She was 25. at the
25 when
time.
it all started type thing?
Yeah.
And also it paints a target on your back.
Yeah.
too.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, I know who I'm going after. But it's just insane. And like I was telling the boys earlier, I'm halfway through. I'm probably going to keep going.
I mean, at this point, you might as well finish. I get that the accent's hard. Like, her accent was a little rough for me to, like, get it. Because I'm also used to her from Ozark.
Right.
And so, but
She plays Ruth on
she plays
Ozark?
Ruth on Ozark, but I just...
What's her name in real life?
couldn't tell you right
And
now.
she has a gorgeous real voice, but she puts on these accents. Julia something.
Julia, yes, this sounds right.
But
Julia
like,
Child.
I couldn't with the accent. Like then I would like catch myself doing it, like talking to Dan.
Well, when she first started the accent, I was like, God, she's doing a like this.
Horrible
I don't know
German.
what this is, but then like I like heard actual voice like audio of. I'm like, oh, she sounds just like this girl.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
I don't know why this girl spoke like that.
Well, and part of me is like, especially when I'm watching, I'm like, is she really trying to throw everyone like, oh, I was born in Russia, but I was raised in Germany, and this is me doing, talking in English. This is what it's come down to. Like, it just is very, very strange. But you're right. The whole Shonda family showed up. Mostly the Scandal cast.
I was waiting for Olivia Pope
it's
to walk in.
Julia Garner. She's Jennifer's little sister. No, I'm just kidding.
I was like, bitch. I was today years old.
But yeah, so Olivia Pope doesn't show up. She needs Olivia Pope.
She does not show up. No.
Yeah, so I'm doing the Neff backstory right now, the little hotel girl.
Okay, yeah.
So that's where I'm at. But man, oh man,
Oh
my God, those
you
houses
guys-
in the Hamptons.
Had you guys heard of this story at all?
I had heard about it.
I had not either.
Oh yeah, like I read about it at work one day when I was just surfing the internet, and then I want to say this was probably like right after it happened. Like I was reading about it when she was on trial, and I was like just fascinated by it. And then when I found out they were making a series about it,
You know, some of the photos I see of her in the courtroom look so familiar to me. I'm like, maybe I have seen that something.
oh,
on the
there was
news
a
about
lot
it.
of publicity going on about
well,
it.
and like I think one of the funniest parts about it is like she's hanging out with the Joe or Billy guy that did the Fire Festival.
Yeah.
Like she's hanging out with him, and he got rid of a lot of people's money. Him and Ja, and he even says at one point, like he walks in, and you're like, oh, like he looks fairly normal. It's like, yeah, he's like me and Ja Rule got this music festival going. And I was like, oh my God,
shit.
it's the Fire Festival guy. And then she's at dinner.
you got like half a bagel.
Yeah.
And then she's at dinner with the prescription guy, that asshole that like bought insulin and like upcharged it super. He's
Yep.
in jail now. But the what's the prescription? Or I forgot. And then he also bought Wu-Tang Clan. He did something to Wu-Tang.
Just like there on the spot. The like listen to the album before it came out.
Yeah. So that's something that starts with the M, but crazy. And then so the other thing that I saw, I was like just kind of hanging out on the couch, and I was like, I just need something, maybe it'll put me to sleep, maybe not. It did not put me to sleep. It was amazing. It's on Netflix. It's called The Tinder Swindler.
I've
And-
seen it. Like it's like the little necklace or hook or thing that's like floating in front of a phone. Is like their main image.
Sure, I'm not really sure what I just started, I turned on my Netflix and it started playing the preview. And I was like, this looks interesting, so I just rolled with it. And this at
So I'm
10:30.
guessing he's like a serial killer from a dating app.
No, the man is alive and out there right now.
So this is a real like story.
Oh, so
Okay.
this was a documentary. So it's a movie and it's a documentary. So it's not like, you know how like the Inventing Anna is a dramatic reinterpretation? This is real. They sat down with the cast of characters and everything. And this guy goes on Tinder, starts dating these girls, wines and dines them for the first month, like nothing. Like gets you on your private plane, takes you like the one girl, like their second date was in like Ibiza, and like just is like telling you everywhere, driving cars, all this crazy stuff. And then about 30 days in, he starts laying the groundwork of, oh my gosh, and he claims to be the Prince of Diamonds, that his father is this diamond
I
guy.
don't understand how people fall.
I'm
for
the
that.
Prince of Hearts.
I'd be like, show me. Like,
So you Google him, he had a whole elaborate network set up. He had it down to a science. One girl, at one point, she was just talking about all the loans she took out, because then he starts saying, like, oh, like, because now it's
red flag.
so it's like blood diamond type shit, and they're like, they're after me. My government has like seized everything. Like, I just need to get home. Will you just put on the ticket on your card and I'll pay you back? So they do it.
I'll just wire you.
yeah. So that they do a lot of wiring.
I
transfer,
don't
believe it or
understand. The money is there. They've already sent the money.
Yeah, I don't get it.
not. So listen. So at one
Venmo
point,
me, bitch.
so then he gets back in the States and he's like, oh, thank you so much. Or back into, a lot of this happens in like London and the Netherlands. And he gets there and he's like, thank you so much for doing that. As a thank you for like putting that $800 card, that charge on your card, here's $10,000. And she's like, oh my God, you're so generous, whatever. So then a couple weeks later, he lays the groundwork really smart. So then a couple weeks later, he's like, okay, now like this is happening again. I need you to wire me $20,000. The one girl at one point literally takes out like $250,000 loan.
Did she get it from that guy in Inventing Anna?
He might have. And then of course
She just opened a bank account.
Then shit starts. Then it starts like, he's like, okay, I'm sending you the money, and it never shows. I'm getting late in my payments, please. And he's like, it's like, I'm trying to save my life. It's so crazy, and it gets all these different girls in the documentary. And so they eventually, one girl gets smart, catches on, and gets him caught. It's all legal. He like literally served like 3 months in Israel for like one fraud charge, and he's just out there. He's got another girlfriend now, posted on Instagram.
Well, I'm glad he's not killing people. I was worried that he was
I thought that was going to go very dark. I'm
but
you're usually into light shows, and this is not very light.
So I'm surprised. So there's
no one died.
Right.
Oh, I mean,
there's another show on HBO Max. Thanks for providing my entertainment. We'll take royalties for the podcast. It's called Generation Hustle, and that's how I heard about the whole Anna thing, because she's got an episode. There's an episode that takes place in Detroit. Some rapper that's like swindled his way into like a recording deal.
It's me.
Yeah, and like he would show up at like these events, and people would like pay him, and he would just come like throw like cheap CDs that he's made.
Is it Eminem? He was at the Super Bowl recently.
I forget. His name's like Little Bean or something. I don't know. Like it's crazy. But like there's like all these people. Like this guy was like he was like, oh, I've created this algorithm that we can do. Like learn what the lottery numbers are or whatever, and so people are like paying him, and then he's doing all this like gambling stuff. It is like every episode I'm just like, how do people fall for all this?
And what's even crazier too is like going back to Inventing Anna, like they got big banks involved.
Yes.
And like huge
banks,
banks with a lot of money that usually should have all these background checks, and it didn't happen. But what's happening now?
I mean, I work in banking. I don't understand how she got as far as she did.
Absolutely.
Like,
so Josh is gonna call the bank and pretend to be my
no, because there's a point where like she's about to get the money at one point, and like literally she falsified all these documents, and they believe them. And the last part of it was like, okay, now we just have to send a guy over to Germany to meet with your father and verify your trust and everything. And I was like, it got to that point where like they were like sending somebody, and that was it. It was done. And that's essentially like where it kind of ended. But
when I bought a house, Steve gave me like $10 on Venmo, and I had to write a letter about it. Like, I don't understand how people are like, oh, $40 million. Talk to this guy on the phone. It's fine.
I don't know if you got to this part, but me and Josh were talking about the episode where she goes to like the heiress's house, the girl that she was on the yacht with, and then
get off the boat.
Get off the goddamn boat. But like, so she just has Veda Sallenfuss and her husband stay in her guest house, and she comes in and she thinks her husband like had a heart attack, and he's laying on the floor, and she's like, this floor is the exact temperature of my body. And then they open the closet, and she's like, we're gonna use every one of these cosmetics and then have crazy sex. Like,
yeah, the level of people with money like is insane. Like we think we know. I don't think we honestly know.
No.
We don't know. Like it's insane.
And people just willing to like quote unquote invest in other people. Like, oh, it could be a $10 million mistake, but I'm willing to try it.
On the Tinder Swindler one, when the one girl was talking to the police, she was like, you don't understand. Like he only got like $40,000 for me. She goes, he would spend that in an evening, in 2 days. She goes, there are way more women out there. You don't understand. Like, this is the level of money he has coming in and going right back out, like, is insane.
I would love to know what his DTI ratio is.
Well, like, when Anna, like, burned through, like, $2 million, well, she was handing out $100 bills to everyone she saw in the hotel.
Right? Yeah. Well, and I think the next big thing, and I think it's just everyone's talking about it because it's apparently way easier than what we thought, because Anne Hathaway and Jared Leto are doing that movie about the two people that do the WeWork, the whole WeWork scandal.
That was also in Generation
Okay,
Hustle.
yep, and that's going to be a big thing. I think they'll probably get nominations, all this and that, but they play the couple that owned WeWork.
Yeah.
And like then the other big thing is Amanda Seyfried.
I love her.
She's doing the Theranos. She was the one. She literally convinced. She built like a whole like. I have this machine that can. I don't know exactly what it can do, but it is something medically that had not been able to get done yet. And she literally convinced like a lot of people to invest like millions of dollars, and the machine didn't work. Like she just convinced them, and she was like making like millions and millions of dollars, and the machine.
Yeah, but you don't have to
work.
give that back, right? Like if
She's on trial right now. That's fraud, especially when it gets that high up. That's like, that's some white collar crime right there. But everyone, I think it's so easy in this age of technology to create falsified documents or to create a presence that it's just. I'm fascinated by it.
That reminds me, I've been meaning to talk to you guys about something.
Oh my God. I have this uncle that really needs to get rid of $100 million.
I'm really a prince from Denmark.
Right? Guys, let me tell you about this pyramid scheme that I have going on over here.
So if you just buy these knives. No.
I remember pyramid schemes were such the big rant and rave during like the 80s and 90s.
Well, it's like those like jewelry parties and Tupperware parties.
Or The Eyes of Tammy Faye.
I haven't watched that yet. Is that good?
I would say, well, I didn't hate it because there's Andrew Garfield in it, but it was pretty good. And that was all about swindling people, too. Like,
Right, because that's that whole religious...
Jesus loves you. Just send $100 more.
Right, we'll get you into heaven.
Since you talked about nominated, I know we had talked about this briefly, but you said you watched the movie Spencer. It's been nominated for an Oscar. So Kristen Stewart's in it. What were your thoughts on this? Because I thought it was awful.
It was the worst movie I've ever seen.
It's up there with like Cabin Fever, the top 5 movies I've ever seen.
Also, even like watching The Crown and other movies about the royal family, like this one was very targeted at Diana and made her seem like a complete bitch.
Crazy, like with the part where the pearl necklace falls in the soup and she like starts eating the pearls. I'm like, what's happening?
And
here?
I get it. Like, I mean, she probably definitely had some, depression and mental illness. But like, I mean, this movie really flipped the script of everything I've ever watched of the royal family.
I did not care for it.
Yeah.
Don't waste 2 hours of your life.
I wasn't planning on it. CJ, I think, it texted in the group chat that it was terrible. Did you finish it?
We did finish.
I was on a plane, so like an hour, and I'm like, I can't start a new movie. Like,
no, it was just bad.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens next. All right. I think we got to refill our drinks real quick, but we'll be back in a jiffy. So stay tuned. And we're back, and
we're gonna go bird watching.
Oh, tweet. So we thought we'd do a little catch up on RuPaul's Drag Race.
Did you know what bird watching was before we watched that?
Well, I've definitely done some bird watching.
I mean, I've done it, but I never knew I was doing it.
I had never heard of the phrase bird watching, but it makes sense. Like, you can call the penis a lot of things: a pecker, a woody, which is a woodpecker.
But it's a penis in gray sweatpants.
Oh, I took it as... Oh, I didn't think it was just gray sweatpants.
I just assumed gray sweatpants.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was like gym shorts. I thought it was just like going out.
No. It's gray sweatpants season.
Oh. So
they
bird watch.
You bird watch. I mean, so yeah. We should do more of that.
Yeah.
I'm doing it right now.
Let's go to aviary.
Wait, all the hockey fans have left now, so I can't watch.
Or the hockey players. But yeah, so... I've been really enjoying this season.
Same.
I really enjoy the queens. I have a couple favorites. I have a couple that I could see ready to go.
Diabetes is on my nerves. Like every week she cries that she's safe.
She was on my nerves from the get-go. Yeah.
Bottom. Like, what's your problem?
Yeah, agreed. I don't.
I mean, I do agree with her when I'm a big gorgeous. What's her name?
Georges.
Yeah, I'm a big Georges fan, but like she pretty much won with like a leotard. I kind of agreed with her on that.
Anytime that Michelle does not call you out for a leotard, it makes me feel sad for the people that she did call out for wearing a leotard.
Because the straight guy went home.
Maddie
Morphosis.
So I mean, and
He was not going to make it very far. I was ready for.
I was surprised he made it through week 1, honestly.
Same. But like, any favorites? Anyone sticking out?
I mean, I love Whittle Pill so much, and I was so sad that she was here in Detroit and, well, in Royal Oak.
She's just a Willow Pill.
Willow Pill, and didn't get this go because we were driving back home that day.
That's all we said in Florida was Willow Pill.
I literally, I did not think in the first couple episodes that I was like, really? And now she won her place in my heart.
Right, like a diamond.
But you know what? Gottmik was kind of like that for me, too.
Gottmik was like that with me. Same.
Did not love Gottmik in the first. And then once I found their style and I realized how awesome of a person they are, I was like, oh, thank you.
And then, they have their one episode where they tell their story, and I'm like, oh, I'm kind of an asshole. Like,
yeah, I also really enjoy Lady Camden.
I love Lady Camden.
Really enjoy Lady Camden.
When that bitch fell on stage, I was like,
I know.
Oh my God.
And just when you thought you couldn't do a new reveal,
Right.
I'm always like, oh, that's been done. That
like the bitch fell flat on her face, got up, and did a new look.
deserved the win, 100%.
That's so my favorite quick look was probably Brooklyn Heights when she did this twirl and her entire outfit just slung off and new hair and everything.
It was like Girl on Fire in Hunger Games.
Yes, and then this was close second for me.
I mean, we gotta be getting close to Snatch Game here.
I was just thinking that, but
That's usually there's 8 of them left. So,
I think there's usually 10. Isn't there usually 5 and 5?
Yeah, that's
I
so
thought it
odd.
was 4 and 4.
But next week's not Snatch Game.
No, they make
give
sure
a
they
preview.
announce that.
Yeah, they did a preview, and it's
It's probably going to be the week after that.
it's something I didn't. I was like, oh,
Look over there.
it's Snatch Game. Yeah. But I also I'm kind of bummed because I wish she'd step up her game. Is I think that who's the really really tall one? I think she's already now she's transgender.
Carrie Colby.
Carrie
Love
Colby,
her.
yeah.
I think she's stunning. Her looks are stunning, but she's kind of falling to the middle of the pack. She needs to up her game if she wants to stay on top.
She was just in Kentucky last week. She was at play in Louisville, Kentucky.
Yeah, I'm over the bigger queen.
Who?
She was the one. She's
the Deja?
Oh yeah, the one that really should have gone home from the
Deja?
get-go.
What?
I didn't even
terrible
bother
'cause
to
I don't-
learn her name.
She wore the big blue leopard print
Yes.
thing and the orange hair on the last one. Big orange wig and the blue snow leopard. Ross said something about they're going extinct or something
Michelle said.
Oh, it was Michelle. Yeah.
Or no, she was like 15 blue leopards died.
Yes, to make that jumpsuit. But yeah, I don't care for her a whole heck of a lot. I do also enjoy.
Deja Sky, are you talking about?
What does she look like?
Like,
Yep, that's her.
Deja Sky. I was
Deja
like, not
Sky.
the one who hurt her foot.
Oh,
No.
yeah, don't
Okay,
let
that
her.
had to go home.
She's already gone.
Yeah.
She's already gone. No. But the other one that I think is really starting to up their game is the one that is it. The problem is when they're out of drag, they don't look anything like the person I think they are in drag.
Oh, I think I know who you're talking. Yeah, the starts with a B.
Bosco?
Bosco.
Yes.
Bosco. Yeah, Bosco.
Bosco really starting to up their game. I'm really liking it, liking their drag, liking what they're bringing to the table.
Girl knows how to put face on.
I'm fascinated when they do their makeup. It's kind of like when Maddie was doing Lexi's makeup in Euphoria. I can just watch somebody do makeup like that for ever. It's so intriguing to me.
I think that's makeup tutorials on YouTube make up half of the population because
Yeah, I went with Cindy to get her makeup done for her wedding, and I just sat there and with champagne. I watched Alyssa get her makeup done for her wedding. I'm like, this is fascinating. I think I'm meant to be a makeup artist.
love that journey for you.
New career.
In your camo.
Sorry, I didn't get the flannel memo.
Well, at least she's not
Didn't
wearing
know
that.
this was 2 lesbians and a gay.
She's not wearing that California hoodie again.
Gotta blend in.
So that's what's going on RuPaul. We'll do an update once we get a Snatch Game episode in.
Right.
I feel like that's good. What's been helping you guys? Have you been watching the Big Brother
I
celebrities?
don't, but I've been seeing all the rumors online. It's nothing but drama.
It is a lot of drama, and I said this to you guys today. Like,
I heard your boy Todrick is pretty feisty.
well,
on
yeah.
there.
So when I was listening to our last podcast today, when we were really talking about like the whole season and what we expected and our predictions, it is absolutely nothing like we predicted at all. Like, I'm just shocked.
I heard Todrick's been turning on everybody.
Todd Bridges literally said that Todrick's playing an evil persona.
Well,
Like
Todd
in the
Bridges
show.
is still in the game.
What's he gonna do when he works with Carson on Rue's, Drag Race?
So I will say Carson was not bitchy at all. Carson came across like the funny, like this. You want to be friends with Carson. Like everything he says is so like it's funny, but it's got a little bitchiness, but you can tell it's coming from like a loving like part. I fell so much more in love with Carson after watching him. Like he's such a real person. It's interesting.
And I heard Lamar's just using it as like a platform to get Chloe back.
Every 2 seconds, Lamar's like, I think about my ex-wife all the time, and I really love her, and
he's probably like whispering in Shannon Moakler's ear, like, "Hey, can you talk to Travis to get word to Courtney, who can get to Chloe?"
Lamar doesn't even know he's like playing a game. He's just there, like he's just eating. Like he's not won anything. Like he's the first one out. I don't even know why they're keeping him. Maybe because they want to take him to the end so that.
So are we at the final yet?
No, we still got quite a handful. I think there's 5 people left.
And who's left? Carson?
No, Carson's gone.
Oh, Carson's gone.
Carson. Yeah, Todrick kind of screwed Carson over.
Okay, so Todrick's still there.
Cynthia's still there.
Cynthia's still there. Pushover.
Her and Carson were best friends. So it was either her or Carson. So
Okay.
they knew Carson had the best social game, so he was out. And Carson was winning stuff. Like Carson was winning like physical challenges, which is crazy.
Don't ever doubt the case.
Right. But Todrick and the Misha Cupcake, the fighter that we talked about. You know, remember the UFC fighter?
Oh, I was like, is she from Drag Race?
Yeah,
Misha Cupcake.
That does sound like a drag name.
Right. So Misha, Cupcake, Tate, and Todrick Hall are running this game.
Todrick, I'm not shocked by that.
Well, Todrick's
he's got a very dominant personality, and
he's also physically fit. I mean, he's a
that
dancer.
bitch tells you to dance. You're like, okay, I'll dance.
Yeah.
I'll do it in heels backwards.
Yeah.
Right. Girl got calves.
Now walk for me. Walk for me.
Pushes him down. Do it again.
But it was so funny. At the first episode, Misha went up to Todrick instantly.
I keep thinking of Misha Barton every time you say that.
Well, she said, let's get the athletes on our side, and then you and I do a final 2. So the athletes were the ice skater, which she was sadly the first one out, and
Lamar.
yeah, Lamar. And Lamar doesn't even know. Like, literally on the live show 2 weeks ago, Julie's like, so who do you vote for to leave the Big Brother house? And Lamar's like... like 20 minutes goes by and Julie's...
It's Chloe in the house.
Yes. Julie's like, Lamar, can you hear me? He goes... And he's like, yeah.
He's like Tristan Thompson.
He's like, I hear you, Julie. And she's like, do you realize we're on a live show right now, right? He's like, yeah, I just don't want to vote. And she's like, well, you're going to have to. Like,
oh my God.
It was the most
Julie's like, read your contract, bitch.
Right?
Yeah.
It was the most. It was literally. He was literally in there for like 5 minutes, and it was so awkward because he was just sitting there, and I'm like, oh, maybe he can't hear. But she's like, Lamar, we are live on TV. I need an answer.
You guys, I wanted to see what Misha cupcakes look like, and so I Googled it, and all I got is a bunch of fucking cupcakes. And it's like, Misha's Cupcakes in Miami, Misha's Cupcakes here. Like, I don't understand. But, yeah.
She's actually...
Makes me want a cupcake real bad.
You know what? She's actually... I hate to say she's actually... I mean, she's very attractive. She puts on makeup every day. Her eyebrows are gorgeous.
She's just probably very athletic.
But she's also training in the Big Brother house for another like title, but she's going down a weight level. Oh. So she's got to lose like 20 something pounds in a Big Brother house.
Girl, go up a weight class. That's
right.
way easier.
So she's coming down, and like Carson's like making cakes every day, and she's like counting.
That would be Josh. He'd just be in the house like, I'm gonna bake today.
Yeah.
Like, what do you guys need?
Girl's like, I don't got a bottom.
There's too much stress in here.
And then you have she's walking around like, well, I could probably have like 2 strawberries.
Oh, girl, that's a fruit.
I was like, well, that's sugar, girl. Cut that out.
Oh my god.
Here's a celery stick for you, Misha.
But I'm like, I could not imagine like going on a reality TV and trying to like lose 20-something pounds. Like,
I guess it depends if you eat stress or you lose weight when you're stressed.
I would just probably swallow a tapeworm and call it a day.
Chris Kirkpatrick.
Oh, I forgot about her that she's on it.
After the first episode, I'm like, he could win. He could win. He kind of screwed himself over. So
I'm not
they
really
voted
shocked
him
by
out.
that.
Yeah.
No, he was shockingly he was a Big Brother super fan. So he's watched every episode of Big Brother. He knew all the rules. He knew everything to expect.
It's always the fans that do the worst, though.
They were just like, bye, bye, bye.
It's like when, these fools come on the challenges and they think they're like, oh, they're going to run the show. And by the first episode, everyone votes for them.
But it has been a very dramatic show, but it's been very entertaining. So catch up.
Okay.
Interesting.
There's 3 or 4 episodes a week. There's a lot to watch.
The only reality show I've been watching lately is between RuPaul and the Olympics. So
I didn't watch any Olympics.
none.
I watched when Shaun White and Nina. Yeah, that was very sweet. But I like the Summer Olympics better than the Winter Olympics.
better.
I'm like,
Yeah, I watched Nathan Chen get his little gold.
I'm over the snow, the cold. I don't care.
Yeah. What else, is anything happening in your Bravo world that you just have to talk about?
Everything is happening in Bravo. Like that whole A-Rod, J-Lo, Kristen Cavallari, like the Summer House guys. Everything is unfolding
Is there
right
something
now.
called Winter House?
Yes, there was.
Something on my Instagram.
That's just something they did during
That
COVID.
sounds like a horrible idea.
They went skiing in Vermont for like 2 weeks.
I would say it looked like they were going to put him in a ski lodge or
They
something.
did in Vermont
like-
for 2 weeks.
yeah.
It was Annie made a show.
Can't be on Summer House.
Yeah, I mean, so they go to the Hamptons every weekend. But like, there's a girl from Summer House named Paige right now, and she is dating Craig from Summer House. And
Wait, there is a Summer House?
Yes,
Oh
yeah.
my God, I just made that up.
It's on Mondays. But she's dating Craig from Summer House, and Craig was hooking up with Kristen Cavallari. And all that has just come to light on Summer House because Paige just found out. And then we all thought that it wasn't Kristen and Craig hooking up. We thought Kristen was hooking up with Austin. Austin used to date Madison. And Madison
She's
was the
the
one who was
A-Rod.
hooking up with Jay Cutler.
Oh.
And then A-Rod also
Okay.
texted her, which also caused the Jennifer Lopez A-Rod. All the destruction. It's all coming out
And gave birth to Bennifer 3.0?
yeah.
What Bennifer are we on? Version 3?
I think
I
we're
lost
on 3.
count.
I mean, just get married already. They're just so meant to be.
She's got a drawer full of engagement rings.
She's going for that, one for the thumb or whatever.
Someone comes to collect money, she just reaches in.
one more
tosses
ring
it.
and she beats Tom Brady.
Because she's 1, 2, 3, 4. She's had 5 engagements.
Oh, you're right. I would think she wants 6 to beat Tom Brady.
I'm like, girl's collecting the
She's already,
infinity
she's on the
stones.
second hand already. Because she had her first husband.
second and
She had her first husband, and then the dancer, Chris Judd, and then she married Mark Anthony. She was engaged to Ben Affleck. She was engaged to A-Rod. So she's on the second hand already.
if he brings one back.
I'm telling you, she's collecting infinity stones from Mark. She's got all
She's
of
trying to
them
be the
lined up.
Johnny Bananas of engagement with her 10
It's
rings.
the only way we're going to get Eric to watch a Marvel movie of J-Lo is like collecting the rings.
I love it.
And the alternate timeline is just
That would be amazing in the new Doctor Strange movie.
Marvel. Do you hear me?
That would be awesome. Oh, well, hopefully it's going to be a summer house for us soon in this world
Right.
because this body is ready.
You know, after watching Cynthia, she was on a Housewives.
She's
right?
on Real Housewives of
Yes,
Atlanta.
Steve actually said, "You know what? I could probably get into the show." And I said, "Don't you fucking dare!"
It's so good.
I watched
New
Miami.
Jersey. Yeah, Josh watched Miami with me last week. New Jersey's on right now. Miami and the OC, and I am just loving it all.
Oh, another reality show, real quick, that's coming back because they're doing all these reunions of the original Real World.
New Orleans.
New Orleans.
Yes.
Bring Danny
I'm
on.
here for that.
Give me some Danny.
Danny, Julie. Who was Danny's best
Melissa.
friend?
Melissa.
Kelly Wolf was in it.
Kelly, that was
David and Jamie. I
Yes.
believe. Yeah.
Tall, dark hair.
Dark hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, can't wait to watch that reunion. Hopefully they all
Wait,
do
I
as
just
well.
remembered David, and I got so. Yes.
They skipped so many though.
Did they?
Well, yeah,
It's probably
only
hard getting the cast.
They
back.
did New York and L.A., and then next should have been like San Francisco, Boston,
They're probably doing
Miami,
They're
London,
They're probably
Only
doing it
who
based
will
on
do.
who they can get the cast back.
Hawaii,
together.
and then because New Orleans was like season 8.
It was down there.
Yeah,
When was Vegas?
Vegas was after that.
Oh, I would be surprised.
7 was
they could
Hawaii.
get Tristan to do that.
Trishelle.
Yeah,
Trishelle,
Bryn.
Yeah, Brent. Okay, boys. Well, this has been a riot, a hoot, a nanny.
A hoot and nanny.
Yeah. Well, that's where I'm
We
at
need to
right
get you
now.
to start watching some darker shows. Josh is like, this is hunky dory.
Welcome to my show. Yeah. So for all you listeners out there, thank you so much for tuning in. The best way to show that you love us is to rate, review, subscribe, share with a friend, share
And
with a
watch
family
out for
member.
those red flags, ladies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Red flag.
And I promise the money's on the way.
If ever you're on your first date and they mention the word wire transfer, red flag.
Run the other way. Run.
Yes.
Thanks so much for tuning in. We love you guys. Until next time.
Bye.